the gourmet chef who served his boss a bowl of Catastrophe.
Listen, I've always believed that the way to a person's respect is through their stomach. My Uncle Dave told me when I was 10 years old, Kevin, if you can cook, you can rule the world. He didn't just call me Kevin, he called me the flambe. Now to a kid, the flambe sounds like you're a high-stakes international secret agent who also happens to make a mean omelet. I thought it meant I had fire in my soul. I thought it meant I was destined for culinary greatness. I spent my teenage years watching every single cooking competition on TV. I'd stand in the kitchen, tossing onions in a pan with a look of intense concentration, thinking I was the next Michelin star sensation. By the time I got my first real job at a marketing firm, I'd built up this entire persona. I told everyone in the office that I was a gourmet specialist. I'd bring in these tiny, expensive jars of truffle salt and leave them on my desk, just so people would ask about them. My boss, Mr. Henderson, was a huge food critic. He'd spend his weekends traveling the world just to eat at places with names I couldn't even pronounce. One Friday, Henderson comes over to my desk and says, "Kevin, I've heard you're quite the artist in the kitchen. My wife and I are looking for a new experience. Why don't we come over for a private dinner Sunday night?" I didn't blink. I didn't hesitate. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Sir, prepare your palate for the flambe experience." I spent 2 days and $600 on ingredients. I bought aged steaks, organic microgreens, and a bottle of wine that cost more than my monthly car payment. I even bought a professional chef's hat, the tall, white, pleated one, because I thought it added authority to my movements. Sunday night arrives. Henderson and his wife sit down at my tiny dining table. I'm in the kitchen, sweating like a marathon runner, wearing my tall hat and a black apron. I started with the appetizer, deconstructed garden medley. It was basically 3 peas and a piece of lettuce on a giant plate, drizzled with a balsamic reduction. Henderson looked at it, squinted his eyes, and said, "It's minimal, Kevin, very bold." I thought I was winning. I thought I was a genius. Then came the main course. I wanted to do something legendary, something that would make Henderson promote me to senior vice president on the spot. I decided to make my signature dish, the volcano steak. The plan was simple. I'd bring the steaks out on a platter, pour high-proof brandy over them, and light them on fire right in front of them. High risk, high reward. I walked into the dining room holding the platter like a king. I gave a little speech about the alchemy of flavor. I grabbed the bottle of brandy and, instead of pouring a little bit, I poured the whole bottle. I pulled out my lighter, gave a wink to Mrs. Henderson, and flicked the flame. Kaboom! A pillar of fire shot up to the ceiling. It wasn't a gourmet flame, it was a battlefield explosion. The fire was so hot it instantly melted the plastic ceiling fan above the table. Molten plastic started dripping onto Henderson's expensive suit like radioactive rain. The smoke alarm started screaming, and the sprinklers, those high-pressure industrial sprinklers, activated immediately. In 3 seconds, my gourmet experience turned into a swimming pool. Henderson was soaking wet, his steak was a charred lump of charcoal, and his wife was screaming because her hair was matted with ceiling fan plastic. I stood there, still wearing my tall white chef's hat, which was now drooping over my eyes like a wet noodle. I tried to stay in character. I looked at the dripping, miserable Henderson and whispered, "That was the flambe part. It's about the destruction of the ego." Henderson didn't promote me. He didn't even fire me. He just looked at me with a level of pity that hurt more than getting canned. He said, "Kevin, Uncle Dave didn't call you the flambe because you're a good cook. He called you that because when you were 6, you accidentally burned down his gazebo trying to make toast." I realized then that my entire culinary career was built on a warning I had completely ignored. I wasn't a chef. I was a fire hazard. Moral of the story? If your nickname involves fire, check your insurance policy. And for the love of God, stay away from the brandy.